Well, good Wednesday afternoon to you, and thanks for tuning in for THV 11 News at noon. I'm Jurnee Taylor alongside meteorologist Nathan Scott. And Nathan, we're going to come straight to you today because the heat is a concern. It is hot out there.
Good afternoon, Jurnee. Yeah, it's hot, it's humid, it's a rinse and repeat type situation here in the natural state. Nothing unusual by June standards, but you go outside and it's a sweat fest out there. Feels like 106 right now in Searcy, feels like 100 in Arkadelphia. More the same in Camden, feels like 103 in Pine Bluff. Here are the actual air temperatures with the visible satellite. We've got a temperature of 90 in Little Rock, 91 in Conway, and a few of those puffy clouds, cumulus clouds, are really starting to develop into North Arkansas and Northeast Arkansas. Right now, nothing showing up on radar, but as you know, with daytime heating, there's going to be a pop-up shower, maybe a thunderstorm. I think favored areas will be for locations to the north and east of Little Rock, but anybody could see a quick cooling downpour that will cool you down temporarily. Heat advisory remains in effect for Central Arkansas, East Arkansas, all the way through 9 o'clock on Friday. And here's what you can expect with those heat index values warming up to 105 to as high as 110 this afternoon. I'll let you know if there's any cooling temperatures in my 7-day forecast coming up.
Nathan, thank you. Well, we begin with developing news as state police continue their search for an infant that could be in danger. Police are looking for 1-year-old Adam Wilson from Little Rock. Here he is on your screen. The child was last seen yesterday morning at Park Plaza Mall around 10 o'clock. Adam was last seen wearing a blue and white shirt, blue jeans, and Disney character shoes. Police believe he may be with his mother, Kendall Wilson, possibly traveling to Alabama or Georgia in a gray 2025 Kia K5. If you see Adam or have any information, you're urged to contact Little Rock Police immediately. We're also following developing news in Helena, West Helena, where the mayor is now facing felony charges. State police tell us Christopher Franklin Sr. failed to file his taxes 4 out of the past 5 years. Officers took him into custody during a traffic stop yesterday afternoon. And after spending some time at the St. Francis County Jail, Franklin was released on a $100,000 bond. Well, we also have an update to a story we first reported earlier this week when a standoff between a Little Rock man and police ended in gunfire. Police are now identifying the man shot and killed by an officer as 44-year-old Andrew Osborne. According to investigators, officers responded to a home on Timber Hill Drive on Monday, and when they arrived, they say they found Osborne standing outside with a gun. Police tell us one of the officers fired their weapon, killing Osborne after he refused to drop the gun. The officer involved is on leave while the investigation continues. We're also still waiting to hear from Little Rock Police about a possible press conference later today. We'll have the latest on air and online when that happens. Meanwhile, police in North Little Rock are investigating a homicide after finding a man dead inside of a home. Officers responded to a call about a sick or injured person on Chandler Street Tuesday afternoon. They arrived to find the man already dead from visible injuries. Detectives are not saying what the injuries are right now. However, anyone with information that could help is urged to contact North Little Rock Police. Well, now to a THV 11 update. The state's attorney general is putting local shops that sell Delta 8 products on notice. A block on a state law banning the products has been lifted, meaning it's now illegal to sell them. THV 11's Maya Ellison gives us a look at the timeline and what this means for the future of the law.
Back in 2023, we at THV 11 shared news of a new bill aimed at banning Delta 8 from being sold in the natural state. It's a product you can find in places like gas stations and even smoke shops. Well, that bill eventually passed, becoming Act 629, and today, state officials met to share a few updates they say is a huge win for the state.
How can this stuff be legal?
Arkansas Attorney General Tim Griffin announcing a new court ruling that could reinstate a ban on Delta 8 products across the state. The law, Act 629, was passed in 2023, but was blocked by a federal judge amid lawsuits from local sellers, which allowed the products to stay on shelves until now.
Let's get the feds to expressly say that's not what we meant. We did not mean to allow this stuff.
Attorney General Griffin says his office, along with state leaders, got the 8th Circuit involved. It was their decision that led to the reversal of the freeze and to clarify the language of the law.
The 8th Circuit dismissed the part of the suit against the governor and me, said that's ridiculous, that's gone. The 8th Circuit found the Farm Bill, federal Farm Bill, does not preempt Arkansas law, and our law is not vague. It's crystal clear.
Griffin says it removes loopholes for businesses like smoke shops and gas stations to sell these products, making it illegal. We spoke with Senator Tyler Dees, who introduced the bill. He says while they waited for a decision, there was a price to pay.
Made to look like easy to open packaging, high color, high gloss, characters, made to look like gummies and brownies and really fun and approachable products, when in reality they were very dangerous and they were never intended for our youth.
Advocate Melissa Fultz shares similar stories, but says she believes the solution to the problem lies somewhere else.
Restrict, test, register, and allow. But don't just leave it alone. Don't ban it, but don't just let it continue like it is.
In Little Rock, Maya Ellison, THV 11 News.
Well, in other news, more than 4,000 Arkansas teachers are getting merit-based bonuses this year. That's nearly 40% jump from last year. It's all part of Governor Sanders' Learns Act, which was created as a new system to reward high-performing educators. Those bonuses can be pretty substantial, with some teachers who show the most student growth receiving up to $10,000. But the key word there is some. Out of about 30,000 eligible teachers in Arkansas, only about 15% actually received bonuses. It's a number the state education secretary hopes to improve.
We would love to see every teacher qualify at some point, but they've got to meet those high expectations. We want to work with those teachers to get them on a path towards licensure. We want to make sure that every teacher is rated effectively or highly effectively.
Secretary Oliva says there's no cap on how many teachers can earn bonuses, and he's hoping more educators will meet the criteria in the coming years. You can learn more about the criteria right now on our website. That's THV11.com. Well, President Trump is meeting with world leaders at the NATO summit in the Netherlands today, and the U.S.'s strikes on Iran's nuclear sites are still the topic of discussion. President Trump calls the attack devastating to Iran's nuclear program, but an initial assessment by the Defense Intelligence Agency says it may have only been set back by a few months. Also at this week's summit, Russia's war with Ukraine is a large focus. President Trump met behind closed doors today with the president of Ukraine.
What I took from the meeting couldn't have been nicer, actually, but I took from the meeting that he'd like to see it end. I think it's a great time to end it. I'm going to speak to Vladimir Putin and see if we can get it ended.
NATO Secretary General also announced members have agreed to increase spending on defense to at least 5% of their GDP. Right now, Immigration and Customs Enforcement is holding close to 60,000 detainees. Many of those detained are non-citizens with pending deportation orders. CBS's Katie Wise spoke to a Marine veteran calling out one of the arrests as a betrayal.
What happened?
I come home from work and my best friend, my partner, isn't here.
Being a single dad was never in this Marine veteran's plans. But it's been his reality since May, when Adrian Cluad and his wife Paula went to an immigration check-in.
Which turned out to be 3 ICE agents there to arrest my wife.
What was going through your mind?
I was furious. I felt betrayed. I mean, they told us we had passed the interview.
The married couple had just welcomed their second child, a baby girl. They also have a toddler.
They knew I was a veteran. They just ripped her away from me and her children, from her breastfeeding the, newborn daughter. It's almost inhumane.
He says they were going through the proper channels to get her a green card, but U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services says she ignored a deportation order in 2018. His wife was brought to the U.S. at 14 by her mother, who was seeking asylum, but claims she was later abandoned.
My wife was not only a minor, but homeless when that removal order was issued. Her mom skipped the appointment. My wife was living in a homeless shelter in CPS care, and there was no way for her to know about the removal order.
The U.S. has long had a program called Parole in Place, which gives military family members who are undocumented a streamlined path to a green card. But the Trump administration has made non-citizens with pending deportation orders a priority for arrests.
Hey, baby.
Adrian Cluad now only sees his wife when he drives his kids 8 hours each week to visit her in a Louisiana detention center.
All right, I love you.
I want my kids to remember who their mom is. You know, I don't want her to be gone for the next, God knows how long, and she becomes a distant memory for them.
Come on.
She's one of more than 6,600 non-citizen parents of U.S. citizen children detained in the last 9 months. Katie Weiss, CBS News, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
The summer steam continues not only for the next few days, but also into the weekend. Temperatures mid-90s, feels like numbers 105, maybe as high as 110, with a small chance there could be a pop-up shower storm. I'll let you know when the rain chances may ramp up going into next week coming up.
Plus, more hot summer days are adding to the risk of premature births. And experts say expecting mothers need more information.